Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Math Day. So we're almost done algebra. Don't worry, we are getting there. Today we're talking about working backwards. For the first part of algebra, we learned about recursive patterns, we've learned about explicit patterns, and for the most part, you guys have been working forward. So for example, by working forward, what I mean is you've had problems like 2x plus 1, and then I tell you, okay, x is 12. So you go 2 times 12 plus 1, 24 plus 1 equals 25. This is working forward. This tells me that on a table of values, the 12th term number would equal 25. So even though our table of values only go to 3 or 4, we can actually determine the value of the 12th term number by putting in the term number in place of x, which is why on a table of values, we have an x row and a y row. So x equals 25 for the 12th term number. And our table of values would end up looking like this. Okay, 2x plus 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and then it would go all the way down to term number term number 12, and that's where you'd see the number 25, okay? And so that is working forward, and that's where you've been so far. But today we're gonna talk about working backwards, how to solve for x when we know what y already is, when we know what the value already is. Now, the most obvious way of working backwards is where I give you the value of y. You can see in these two algebraic equations that I've given you what y is. 2x plus 1 equals 37, and 5x minus 8 equals 32. And then it's a matter of working backwards as we've done before. It's a matter of taking something from one side and putting it on the other, or just taking it away from the one side. And how do we take it away from the one side? Well, we have whatever we do to this side, we have to do to the other side. Kind of like fractions, whatever you do to the top, you must do to the bottom. So imagine for a second that I would like to get rid of this plus 1. This means that I have to do negative 1. So that would be 2x equals 37 minus 1. This means that 2x equals 36. Are you with me so far? I hope so. Okay. Now I've got 2 times x. Well, this 2 times I can take over to the other side. So I can say x equals 36 divided by 2. Over here it was multiply. Over here it can become divide. Therefore I know x equals 18. This is solving by working backwards. Just remember, by taking something to the other side of the equal sign, you are always doing its opposite. Let's take a look at 5x minus 8 equals 32. Well, if I have 5x minus 8 equals 32, I have to add 8 to this side in order to get rid of the minus 8, according to the zero principle, which means I have to add 8 to the other side. So that would be 5x equals 32 plus 8. 5x equals 40. X equals 40 divided by 5. Why divided by 5? Because here it was times by 5, so now we have to divide by 5, and x equals 8. For all marks, you have to show all steps. Okay, so you're basically solving for what is x? What is the term number when I've already given you the term value? But what happens when I throw integers in there, negative integers? Okay. So here's where I start giving you some of those negative numbers in order to work backwards. Here we have negative 2x plus 1 equals negative 11. All right, well, of course, the same rules apply when working backwards. So what I have to do is I have to say negative 2x equals negative 11 minus 1. This is negative 11 minus another 1, which means your answer is going to be negative 12. So negative 2x equals negative 12. Now, x equals negative 12 divided by negative 2. Now, a negative divided by a negative always equals a positive. And so your answer in this case is going to be positive 6. But what happens when your value, or your y, is already a positive? So now I've got negative 2x plus 1 equals positive 5. Well, negative 2x equals 5 minus 1. Negative 2x equals 4. X equals 4 divided by negative 2. And in this case, we know that the signs are different, positive 4 and negative 2, which means that the answer has to be negative. 4 divided by 2 is negative 2. Negative 2 times negative 2 equals positive 4. So when you're dividing and multiplying and you have the same sign, it's always a positive answer. And when you're multiplying and dividing and there's different signs, then it's going to always be negative. I hope that kind of clears it up. Now today, I've given you 14 questions working backwards, basically solving for x when I give you y. There's 2 challenge questions at the bottom, so 12 normal questions that every grade 7 and 8 should be able to do, and then 2 questions at the bottom that may require you to do a little bit more thinking. Now, if you're one of the people who struggle and you're like, oh, I don't get this, try rewatching the video again, because I've done specific questions with hints as to how you can solve those ones when given a positive answer at the end and given a negative answer at the end when you have mixed integers. Okay? So good luck. I'm looking forward to seeing your work, and happy Tuesday!